Xbox is not becoming a startup, but Asha Sharma is prioritizing speed, and I'll tell you why that's needed. Now, to give you guys quick context and what happened over the last 2 days, a quick recap. So basically, Chris Dring, we all know who he is. Chris Dring from the game business, he came out with a report mentioning multiple things. He said Obsidian is on the chopping blocks. It's been in a serious discussion of closing down, but that but that rumor was quickly debunked by Jason Schreier, who came out and said, no, that's not true. From what I've heard, Obsidian is safe. Jez also confirmed that. And uh, Chris Dring retracted his comments. He said it was a mistake on my part, but the damage had been done. As soon as Chris Dring announced this, it took 5 minutes for the likes of IGN, GameSpot, and all these supposed big media outlets to quickly write all these clickbaity articles of how Obsidian might be closing down very, very soon. So, but then Chris Ding retracted, fine, whatever. Next thing he mentioned that Xbox is now, like, he interviewed few people from the game development side, and Xbox is becoming more like a startup. And what, like, the price announcement, like the price increase announcements of the Xbox came as soon as Xbox or Asha Sharma saw that Apple has raised their prices. She quickly came out and said, "No, guys, we have to announce this price rise." And it's becoming more like a startup now. Jez again came out. I also called bullshit on that one. Jez again came out and confirmed that that's not true. That's not happening. Yes, price increase was announced, but it was just a coincidence that it happened right after the Apple announcement or Apple thing. But that was debunked again. So like this entire report, what Chris Ding released, which led to thousands of articles across the gaming media, uh, was almost like this entire article, I think, got debunked. But one thing I spoke to about this briefly in my previous video. I wanted to speak about this again. The one thing that he mentioned, he said, let's just read quickly. Now, see this paragraph. So there is frustration and even division within the Xbox ranks. Sharma brought in a startup mentality into Xbox. Speed is priority. Teams are used to weeks of meticulous planning, are being asked to turn things around in days, even hours. The price rise announcement last week was pushed out earlier than planned after Apple announced its price increase earlier in the day, which I saw this and I thought, this is no way. This is bullshit. Now it is reactive and gets business moving, but it can also feel messy and chaotic. And now all of the leadership is behind not all the leadership is behind every call. This is particularly true on development side, where certain studio heads feel Sharma is listening too much to the consultants and not enough to the people building the games. And man, why should she? Again, why should she? Tell me, guys, why should she? Phil listened to everyone. Phil let them do things however they wanted to, make whatever the fuck they wanted to make. Kilns, Keepers, South of Midnights. What happened and where is Phil? It doesn't matter how much I loved South of Midnight. It doesn't matter how much I loved Keeper. The fact is, those games didn't sell. Those games do not attract the mainstream public. And we cannot sit here and justify that you will spend $100 million on a game and take 7 years to develop, and then that game doesn't sell. Phil let you guys do whatever the fuck you guys wanted to do and see what happened. Where is Phil now? Now I don't believe, like, this report has almost been completely debunked by Jez Corden, Jason Schreier, and many others. But one thing I do believe is true, not exactly the way he's saying it, but because Asha mentioned it herself in the first memo, probably in the second memo again. She has specifically stated this, that we are too slow. We are too slow. It takes weeks, months to get things rolling. So we need to become leaner. We need to sprint to the finish line. And she has mentioned this repeatedly. So I 100% believe, and this is one of the rumors that came in very early in her regime, that she has gotten approval from Satya somehow to turn things around much quickly. Earlier processes that could have taken months to get approval from one level to another level are being quickly turned around. So this, I 100% believe that this is true, and this is what exactly is needed. Why? I mean, Giving devs creative freedom is a good thing. But we tried that. Phil tried that. He is there no more. Xbox, the brand we love so much, is in. Guys, listen, I don't want to like sugarcoat it. It is in the shitter, man. I mean, if it is in the shitter right now, somewhat, right? And some big decisions, drastic decisions are needed to turn things around to give Xbox just a slight hope of actually competing in the console space. We have she has been she The first 3 months was about small wins, weekly wins. The next 3 months she completely told us that reset is coming. We will be resetting the business, and then she will start with her plan. So now they hunkered down, they are not saying anything. Now once this reset is over in 100 days, then they'll start ramping up the positive news cycle again. Now the speed thing is 100% needed, and 100% believe it's true, but not the way Chris Drink said it. Let's just read some more, man. The studio frustration comes partially from the belief that, oh yeah, this thing, guys. The studio frustration, yeah, the teams were getting stronger game by game. And if we take Xbox Game Studios for a moment, which is the division most under threat, which it should be, taking 8 9 years for a game, spending 100 million, and most of the games are not even selling, except for Playground games, guys. Except for Playground games, tell me one game that has done well. Tell me one game. Can you name it? Maybe I'm forgetting something, but most of the games have, even as hardcores, man. We've loved these games. We've loved Avowed. We've loved we love South of Midnight. But tell me one game apart from Forza that has done well in the past 10 years from Xbox Game Studios. Now, yeah, under threat. It actually delivered broadly decent. Yes, in terms of output, you delivered. But what about sales? Forget sales for 1 second. I'll come to that. What about Game Pass engagement? If your games were that good and was attracting public, why didn't anyone play it on Game Pass? Except for the hardcores, we played, but it's not us who they want to attract, right? Why didn't anyone else play? Then the whole argument comes that we are only releasing on a smaller platform. You released all these games were released on the biggest platform, your media's favorite platform, PlayStation. What happened then? How many copies did South of Midnight sell on PlayStation? Tell me, guys. I think it's 16K or something. That's ridiculous, guys. That's ridiculous. That's a game that took 6 7 years in development and 100 million and supposedly $100 million budget game. Some sense among some teams that they are being punished for the poor performance of Call of Duty. Okay, so you guys want to do whatever the fuck you want to do, make whatever the fuck you want to make, and then, but then when push comes to shove, when it's about engagement and sales, then you guys blame Call of Duty. Man, I'm all for the devs. I really am, guys. Don't think I'm preaching for the corpos here. I 100% am not. But this is a business, and we have to, like, even the devs have to take accountability for these things. I cannot with a straight face come out and say, no, we have to support that. Yes, we have to support the devs, but we have to think about the business as well. Xbox as the brand as a whole. We cannot just think about one particular developer, because Xbox as a whole is in danger, guys. So we need to think about that as well. And that's why I think this speed thing and this not listening to the devs, but focusing on bigger games, focusing on, like he said, like more budget to Halo, Elder Scrolls and Fallout. Yes, as of now, that is what is needed. I'm not saying all games should be big games, but that is what it's needed, because Game Pass is not the strategy anymore. It has stalled. So what to do? What to do, guys? This this directly ties into one thing that I wanted to discuss, and I'm very happy about this. And I'll give you. You might not think this is a big deal, but I'll tell you why it is. Now, Jess Gordon, I think he was replying to someone. He mentioned Jess Gordon on Halo Studios, right? He said, so some people came out and said, why is Halo Studios, and I call them 343 because I don't think they deserve the name Halo Studios, to be very honest. That's another point of discussion. Let's not get in there. So Jess Gordon on Halo Studio. The studio is not in negotiations for closing down. Very, very heavily evaluating how Halo is run. Cutbacks revolve around allocating resources towards fixing Halo. Now, what do you think that means, guys? I'll tell you exactly what that means. I'm telling you, I can be wrong, but I don't think I am. I'll tell you what that means. A lot of other teams, the Halo's budget is increasing. That's for sure, 100%. Which it should. Halo is Xbox's flagship IP, man. Master Chief, guys. Halo is one of the reasons why I started like supporting the Xbox brand very early in the day. It deserves all the love it gets. Anyway, so what it means is the budget is increasing, obviously, but what I think is going to happen is many other studios or many other teams are being repurposed and redirected towards development of Halo. Yes, could be more Halo projects like ODSTs, or could be like multiple teams working on a single project to get it out faster. That's what I think it's happening, and I think it's the right call. We need we need Halo back in our lives, guys. At least that's my personal opinion. We really do. I know it. I 100% believe it's not. I mean, as of now, Forza is the biggest Xbox IP. I'm sorry to say, guys, for Halo lovers, but that's the truth in terms of sales. But we need Halo in our guys. We need Master Chief back in a big way. In a big way. So, yes, I think Halo will be back in a big way, and so will Fallout, Elder Scrolls, and all the big games. We are back to Halo Gears and Forza, guys. Halo Gears and Forza. Remember that? Anyway, before I go, man, for today, I'll just one more quick thing. I just wanted to show this, and this is not a big like it's not a big deal because we all know how Xbox is discussed in the industry, right? But look at this article from our very beloved GameSpot. Xbox Game Pass is removing a lot of games very soon. Oh my god. It's just clickbait. What? It is just pure clickbait. Game Pass removes games every month from Game Pass. Every month. This is nothing related to whether budget is reducing or Game Pass contracts are being canceled. This is nothing related. It's just a fucking headline for people to click on. What happened to GameSpot, man? Seriously, what happened to GameSpot? This is just, and I mean, as of now, to be honest, I just don't I don't expect anything better from the gaming media, the big media outlets these days. But just wanted to, you know, discuss this. And guys, just be ready for tomorrow. Tomorrow, I think the shit's shit's about to hit the fan. Tomorrow, most likely we get confirmation about the reset, which studios are being closed down, which are being retained, which are being spun out as indies. So be ready, guys. I'll be here covering that as soon as the news drops. And this is a very new channel, guys. If you guys want to support someone like me, I would love and appreciate your support. So hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. I'll see you on the next one, guys. Bye.